because sometimes it actually feels very hard and lonely to be the only one doing something and not being understood by the people around you, and trying to create a life that no one around you has ever created, no one from the people that you know. But sometimes in those hard times, I always think, when I'm going through that, I always think that I can always be that one for someone else, and they will look at me and they think, oh, that's actually possible. How cool is that? Welcome everyone to LifewithLiza podcast. Our mission at LifewithLiza is to share people's stories and the challenges that they have overcome, so that those who are listening in can get the strength, the courage and the hope to be their better selves. And today we have a special edition episode, and I am your guest recording this episode from the city center of Valencia. And the topic that I really wanted to discuss with you today, and the theme for this episode, is I just thought of this phrase that said, and it came to my mind and I thought it's so true, that it's great to have a role model that we can look after and we can learn from. But at the same time, a lot of the times we won't have that role model, and we would need to become that one ourselves for others. And I think it's a very empowering way of looking at life, and something that I have been personally trying to do myself, because sometimes it actually feels very hard and lonely to be the only one doing something and not being understood by the people around you, and trying to create a life that no one around you has ever created, no one from the people that you know. But sometimes in those hard times, I always think, when I'm going through that, I always think that I can always be that one for someone else, and they will look at me and they think, oh, that's actually possible. How cool is that? And I think some of the role models that I do have in mind and that make a big difference in my mind are some people that I followed on social media. And I see one girl who is 25 years old, a self-made a millionaire, living in New York City, and actually just knowing that it is possible and removing that excuse that you cannot be a millionaire, self-made millionaire by yourself if you're a girl at 25. Also, removing that excuse has been so powerful for me, and I hope that some other people who would look at me and what I'm trying to achieve, and the consistency, for example, with this challenge that I'm trying to achieve, they will look and say like, oh, maybe that is possible for us to do something like that as well. And I think just like no one around me really does those challenges of the people that I do know, or actually wants to become that entrepreneur, and all the people that I do know actually have 9-to-5 jobs. But maybe I could be that first one who becomes an entrepreneur. Maybe I can be then the role model for other young girls to pursue their dreams and to have this consistency and challenge themselves. And I think in our lives, it's so easy to find an excuse why we should not be doing something, or why something would not make sense or would be hard to do. But at the same time, we can spend the same time and energy, instead of thinking of the excuses, to actually be doing the hard thing and becoming the person and doing things against all the odds. And I always also think to myself that the worse the odds, the better the story, right? If everyone doubts you and everyone thinks it's not possible, and then in the end you do accomplish that, you do manage to do it, how incredible is that? It would make for a great story. So don't let the challenges or the obstacles that you have in life discourage you, but instead use them as your fuel to actually bring you to action and become that role model for other people. Become that role model for, maybe you'll be the first one in your family to go to university. Maybe you would be the first girl to the one that you know to actually open up your own business. Who knows what that something would be for you, but becoming that role model for other people about whom you care about could be so empowering. And also, I feel that for me it is very purposeful. I love doing things that no one has done before, just because I feel like then I'm contributing to this world in the way that only I can contribute, and that definitely instills purpose in me. And also another comment that I wanted to make: even if you don't have anyone around you in your proximity whom you could consider a good role model, in our world, in the world of social media and internet, we literally have no excuse, because we can Google almost anything. We have so much power in this little device that we call a phone, and we can Google and access information to access all the information. We have more computing power in our phones than people had when they sent people to the moon. How crazy is that? So we can always read autobiographies of the people who inspire us, of the people who actually created the life that we want to create for ourselves, and use them as our role models, even though we might not have the actual people surrounded by us. But if we do spend a lot of time reading about them, and that information changes our behavior, it almost feels like it's an actual person with whom we do spend time with. I hope you did enjoy this episode, and I'm just doing a quick round for those watching the video to show the place where I am standing and filming this episode. And please hit that like and subscribe button. I would really appreciate that. And if you haven't already, leave a comment, subscribe to this channel. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for being part of this community, for listening to this video. I really appreciate that, and I cannot wait to see you in another episode. I cannot believe we're almost over 1/3 way through the Life with Liza 100 challenge. 100 episodes for every day, last 100 days of 2022. Love you. See you in the next episode.